Okay, hello. Welcome to the Switchstrument. This is my final project submission for the class Creative Coding for Sound. This is a part of my master's degree at the University of Edinburgh for sound design. Now, my project is a digital instrument created inside of Max MSP. Everything that you hear, all synthesis, all samplers, they're all coming from inside Max MSP. The only things that are external are samples that I've recorded myself outside of, but all the triggering, all the playback, that's all inside Max, as well as all the synthesis that you'll hear. And it's all controlled by this controller. This is a Nintendo Switch controller. It's two Joy-Cons and they're connected in this sort of black frame here. Now it's connected to my laptop through Bluetooth, and I'll show you how I connected it inside Max MSP to get all these inputs. So I just want to jump in here and show you what it looks like. So you'll see right away that it makes sound. Now down at sort of in the bottom left here, we have sort of a real-time map. We have the triggers. These are the Z triggers, the big ones. The smaller triggers, plus minus, that's how we change modes. We have the buttons, the face buttons, and then the sticks, and then the extra buttons is what I call them down at the bottom. And I'll show you what those extra ones are for, but you can always track my button inputs in real time as I hold it down or just tap it. Okay, so let me take you behind the curtain. I almost said behind the hood. Under the hood. Okay, so this is what a Max MSP looks like outside of presentation mode, and this isn't even half of the code. Most of the code is abstracted away behind these black objects. So anytime you see a P there, that means that there's extra code back there. That's kind of hiding away. So I wanted to show you how I connected the switch controller. So see, it says HI, that means human interface. This is an object that deals with human interfaces. So this object here, so there we go. So it's connected to the Joy-Con. So the Joy-Con is the switch controller here. There's two Joy-Cons, left and right. And it's every 5 milliseconds, it's pulling what the most recent inputs were, and it's outputting them to these. So these routes, these are the button presses. Now, each button press comes with two numbers. It comes with these route numbers, which denotes the specific button. Right here, 1, 2, 2, 4 is the joystick. And it also comes with a 1 and a 0. And that's how you know if the button is held down. If the button is pushed down, it's a 1. If it's off, it's a 0. And I just will show you. Yep. Right. Directionals. And then this is how you track the directions. So it's directions 0 through 7, and then 8 is the not held down one, right in the center. Okay, so I'll also just show you the synthesis here real quick. So I'll show you the bass synth. Yep. Okay, so like I said, inside of Max, all the synthesis is happening. So rect for rectangle or square wave, sawtooth wave, pink is noise. All of the synthesis is happening inside of Max MSP. Pink, rect, saw. There's other oscillators too. And then what you're seeing there are the volume envelope cycle, that's sine wave, triangle wave. So what you're looking at are the partials. This is multiplication, so it's multiplying the fundamental frequency. And then these are what the different volume envelopes look like for the different partials. Okay, so that is the synthesis inside of Max MSP. Now let's jump back to presentation mode. Zoom out a little bit. Here we go. Okay, welcome to the Switchstrument proper. So first I'll show you how the synth works. So the synth, just like many things in this program, are divided in half. So you have the high synth and the bass synth, which is on the left. Now the notes are controlled by a drunk parameter. So they're a set of pre-selected notes, but they're randomly selected, so each button has its own randomized parameter. So I can hit the same button and get a different note every time. But when I say that they're drunk, that means drunk is just a function inside Max MSP that controls randomness. And so that way you're not going to get huge variation between the notes. You can control the whole parameter and the space in between the randomly selected notes. So I'm not selecting the notes, that's random, but I am selecting the specific texture that I want. So for the high synth, we have two buttons that will ramp up from 0 to their designated frequency and come back down when I let it go. Otherwise they'll sustain. And then I have two buttons that will, all I have to do is tap them and they'll go all the way out to their envelope and back. Now I can modulate these sounds as well with these triggers here. So I can use an amplitude modulator. It'll go from 0 hertz to 10 hertz. I can control feedback, change the feedback delay. The delay time is smooth, so you will get a Doppler effect. There you go, that's the Doppler. And you can control the feedback. Keep it above 1 for long, then you'll start getting some crazy noises. And same with the bass synth. Bass synth, each note is a different texture, but the notes are the same. The bass synth, the notes are based around F minor pentatonic, and the high synth, the notes are based around D flat major 7. That was intentional. They're relative major minor, but I wanted the bass to have a minor pentatonic tonality, even though they're randomly selected inside that. That way you just can't go wrong. No wrong notes. Okay, so now you'll see these blue squares here. These are buffers, spaces in memory. So again, the only thing that I'm using the mouse for is controlling these volume faders, which I think I've done a little bit already. So if I click in the right thumbstick, I'll trigger the recording into the right buffer. So I can start recording in. There it is. Okay, so there's our right buffer. Here's our left buffer. Here's the shimmer, I forgot to mention that earlier. So if you just circle the sticks, let's go around one more time. Okay, there's the buffer. So these shimmers, D flat major and E flat major pentatonic, again, they'll just die out naturally if you hold it down. So if you keep it circling, then you get the chord. Add some nice physicality to the program. Now, if I hit plus, I'll switch modes to the sampler. So again, all the sampling, all the sample triggers are taking place inside Max MSP. All the sounds that you're hearing have either been created or recorded by me. Okay, so with the button presses, so once I hit the button, it'll start over, but if I hold the button down, it'll loop. Right, same on the left side. Now the buttons I assigned to some of my favorite sounds, but the sticks, each direction corresponds with a sample of its own. All right. Now I was using the sticks alone. I wasn't inputting any other inputs at the time. But the way that I've designed this digital instrument is that the buttons are horizontally correlated to the sticks. So if I just hold down a sample here, and I use the stick that corresponds horizontally across, which is the left stick, I can control how that sample is played back as it loops. So I can pitch shift it up with up, and pitch shift it down. I can go backwards, or I can go fast forward. That's backwards. That's pretty cool. I can go fast forward. And again, I can record this into these buffers. So I'll do the right side first. Okay, that was the right side. Here's the left side. There we go. So now all 4 buffers have been filled. Now we will hit minus and we'll go to the looper. So now the looper now gives me direct access to these 4 buffers that I've created, and I can all add them in as I wish into one big buffer. So now again, this is all controlled by the switch controller. The only thing that I'm controlling with the mouse are these volume faders, and I've already turned down the samples, so those can get loud. So I can turn them on, and they'll just loop until I turn them off. Nice blend. So then with this extra button here, I'm recording into the big buffer, and I can take out specific parts as I want to. Okay, and loop record is on, so it would just keep looping and recording over itself. I also forgot to mention, outside of the looper function inside synth or sampler, I can play back what I've recorded in the buffer with these extra buttons here. These extra buttons are pretty much always designed for buffers and recording. So same with the synth. Here we go. Right, okay, back to the looper. Minus gets its own button. Plus toggles between sampler synth. Minus is a looper. So now, with this right extra button, we can play back the big buffer, which is all 4. Now that I have all 4 buffers inside one buffer, I should say all 4 sound files inside one buffer, I can play with it from here, so I can low pass filter it. I know this is really loud. I can amp mod it. Just like the other ones. I can add delay. Now this is where it can get pretty crazy, so I'm going to see what I can create with the feedback and the And there you have it. That is the Switchstrument, my final project for creative coding for sound. A digital instrument controlled only with this Bluetooth connected Nintendo Switch controller into Max MSP. Thank you for watching.